You are in a room with people talking. Nothing obvious is happening, but you notice something others don't. A slight pause before someone answers a question. A tiny shift in tone when someone says, "I'm fine." A micro expression that lasts less than a second. And the strange part is, you don't try to notice it. It just appears in your mind automatically. Most people miss it completely, but you don't. And sometimes this becomes uncomfortable, because once you start noticing these small details, you cannot unsee them anymore. But here's the real question. Is this actually intelligence, or something else happening quietly inside your brain? And the answer is not what most people expect. You might think this is normal, but it changes how you experience people. You start reading between sentences, not just what is said, but what is hidden. Conversations feel layered, silences feel meaningful. Even simple interactions start to feel coded, and over time you may notice something strange. You begin doubting people more, or analyzing them without trying. This isn't imagination. Psychologically, this is linked to heightened pattern sensitivity. Your brain starts prioritizing subtle information over obvious information. But there's a cost, because while others enjoy simplicity, your mind keeps searching for structure, meaning, and inconsistency. And that raises a deeper question. Why does your brain start doing this in the first place? We'll come to that, but first, you need to understand something important. This is not a flaw. And it is not overthinking in the way people casually say it. It is actually an adaptation of perception. Your brain is not too sensitive. It is trying to reduce uncertainty. In psychology, this connects to a system called predictive processing. Your brain is constantly predicting reality before it fully happens. So when something feels slightly off, your system flags it early, not to confuse you, but to protect your sense of understanding. But here is the subtle truth. This same system can make life feel more complex than it actually is, because not every detail has meaning, but your brain treats them as if they might, and that creates a quiet tension. You are seeing more, but not always knowing what matters. Let's simplify what is happening inside your mind. Imagine your brain is a prediction machine in the dark. It cannot see everything clearly, so it builds guesses based on tiny signals, tone of voice, eye movement, timing of silence. This is called predictive coding in neuroscience. Your brain asks, what is the most likely truth behind this moment? Now here is where intelligence-like perception appears. Some brains assign more weight to microsignals. That is linked to high attention to detail, strong working memory, and enhanced error detection systems in the anterior cingulate cortex. In simple terms, your brain is better at detecting mismatches. But there is another layer. When your mind focuses too much on small signals, the default mode network starts building stories around them. And this is where interpretation begins. Not reality, but meaning. So what feels like rare intelligence is actually a combination of high signal sensitivity and pattern construction. But sensitivity alone is not enough. What you do with it changes everything. Now let's break this into 4 psychological principles. When you notice a detail, pause before assigning meaning. It reduces automatic prediction errors in the brain. Someone looks away while talking. Instead of assuming dishonesty, you hold the observation only. Mentally say, "This is a tone change," instead of "they are lying." It activates the prefrontal cortex, reducing emotional bias. You feel tension in a conversation, but label it as an emotional shift. Deliberately shift attention outward. It resets sensory gating systems in the brain. During conversation, you briefly focus on background sounds instead of faces. Ask neutral questions instead of internal conclusions. It corrects predictive errors through real-world data. Instead of assuming discomfort, you ask, "Are you okay with this?" If we combine everything, your mind is like a high-resolution lens camera. It captures details others miss. But clarity is not just resolution. It is knowing when to zoom in and when to zoom out. Because intelligence is not only what you notice, it is also what you choose to ignore. And your brain is constantly balancing between these two states, precision versus simplicity. When that balance is off, the world feels too complex. When it is balanced, you see clearly without noise. So if you notice these small details, it does not automatically make you special. It makes you sensitive to patterns that others filter out. And that sensitivity can feel like a gift, or like mental noise, depending on how you relate to it. But maybe the real intelligence was never about noticing everything. Maybe it was about understanding which details deserve your mind and which ones don't. And once your brain learns that difference, the world doesn't become quieter. It becomes clearer.